Hey everyone, Weston Simonis here, and today I want to talk about synthesizers. Um, they're great instrument tools to live up your productions. Sometimes they can set the emotion for you, and so what I'm going to do is show you how a basic understanding of them are. So we're going to jump in here on the screen share for you. And here we go. All right. So here I'm going to open up in Pro Tools on the left-hand side of the edit window. You can see these tabs. You can click right here and it's going to bring you to multiple menus. And then go to instruments. So we're going to go over to the iZotope Iris 2, give you kind of a view of that one. Okay, so in the iZotope Iris 2, you see how we have 2, 3, 4 different samples in here? Okay, so some of these synthesizers will allow you to make your own samples, which is kind of really cool. So what I do is sometimes I'll put like presets are great. You can go through all these presets and hit and hear the sounds, which is pretty cool. I mean, this one's pretty basic. It says it's called Almost Enough. You can come through here and find one you like. But you can also use a synthesizer for like sound design, sound effects stuff. So we're gonna kind of show you a little bit of that today too. And in these synthesizers, they have options of effects, and every synthesizer has different way to apply these effects. So you're just going to have to learn how to channel the effects in there. So you're going to have to go through the sends and stuff like that. So this one has a send and a master. So you can pick the send over here on the right hand side. You can see where I clicked and it says master. You can come over here and get the send, and then right here, this one has a distortion effect, a chorus effect, a delay effect, and a reverb effect. Not only does this one, the Iris 2, have those effects that you can put on there, there's many other ones you can create. So, for instance, the micro right here, the macro, I can take this macro and I can apply it on like this first LFO over here. And this LFO can be placed in other places inside of the mix that I will get into in a bit. It took me a while to kind of understand this Iris 2, but hey, it's really interesting synthesizer. You can use it for samples and stuff like that. So let's clear out these here in the mix, clear all this out and get rid of this. Yeah, because it's not what we want right now. Okay, so we're going to go in here and we're going to open. I'm going to show you. You can record your own samples, okay? And the other day, I recorded the sync dripping and added a few other effects in it. And so what I did is I got in here and created it and saved the effect inside one of my songs in here. So we're going to get into that song. It was called The Dark Side of the Moon. And it's just water dripping. So when you hear it's so we're gonna add water dripping in here. And you can hear that there's already an effect applied onto this, so we're gonna clear this mode. All right, so it also down here in the bottom of this has this keyboard that you can minus it away or bring it back from this arrow key right here. And here it sounds like it's the actual pitch. It also has amplified it, so we can look on our board here. So I can see that in the mixer, that window, there's effect already put on it. So we're gonna exit out of that. So how I did that to get to the mixer window is right here on the right side corner. You can see where my mouse is at. You can click the mixer window and it will open up, and you can actually add in more stuff and go in more detail there. So I can take away the effects by this little bar right here and add in. All right. As we take it away, sounds like we have some kind of delay on there. We'll get rid of that in a moment. Let's see. All right, so that's just the sample we have. All right, so we can color it up, bring it in like this, and add in some effects, just a little bit right there. All right, so that's not all we wanted to do to this. So say while it's dripping, say we want to only have a part of it. I can select part of this right here, and now it's going to only play this part. So say we only want this amount right here. Maybe that I need to get a little more in there for that cut. Okay. All right, so we'll bring in some more of this effect. Okay, so right here, this macro brings up this other window right here. You see this window here comes in. Okay, so we can have other effects added in here. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to add these effects right here, the delay, the reverb, inside of these LFOs. And these LFOs, we can add these LFOs within inside of these LFOs. And then these EVNs, we can, the envelopes here, we can go inside of these and actually, add in attack kind of stuff. So we're going to jump in here, and I'm going to show you. We're going to make this more. So this says chorus. So 4 is chorus. We're going to attack the chorus. We're going to make this chorus. We're going to go to the M4 right here. I'm going to rise it up as high as we want. Then we're going to want to come over here and turn it up. Turn it up. You're not going to hear it yet because we haven't assigned this LFO. You hear that? We still haven't heard anything different yet. All right. So we want to have we want to make it more crunch. So we'll put in some crunch here. We'll put number 4 and we'll add the attack on the crunch. And we want to make the rate high on this. I want a higher rate. Say higher, make this rate kind of high here. Yeah, and this LFO has, like I said, hasn't been assigned anything. So we want to send all this too, by the way. Because we can add on more effects later. So we're going to go into here. say we want to add this LFO right here. We want to get this distortion in here. We want to put this LFO right here. Give it a little delay. This little reverb. And we're really working on lots of chorus, so we're going to crunch this thing with chorus. Okay. All right, so you can hear it's changed somewhat a bit. All right, so maybe we want to put a little bit of phase on there on this. We want to hit some phase on our delay, so we're going to bring in some phase on the delay and turn this up. So boom. Okay. So this LFO is, now we're going to jump in here and go in this envelope here. We can attack it. Sustain it. You can also take this LFO and we can bring it into this and attack it. And we're just working with the drip of water at the moment. All right, so on the other one that we have, this LFO, okay, so we're using 1, 4, and 7. So we're going to go this envelope and we're going to bring in 1 to make it crunchier. We're going to attack the crunch. Bring this back. And then 4, I'm going to attack 4, it's the chorus. Okay. And 7 was we're going to sustain that delay. I'm going to decay that delay. So we want to release that delay a little bit too. So we'll bring that delay in the release. We'll get a long release here. Okay, so we're going to go back to this LFO. So we're going to bring this envelope here. We're going to bring it here and we add some phase to it. So it's going to kind of going back and forth from itself. Okay, so I can go, we're going to bring ourselves over to this section right here real quick. What we have is like this. This is the wave sound signal. Now, I can change the wave signal by going right here and picking something. Like right now, we have just a sine wave, which is just, you know, just a big curve. Or we can go into like a saw down where it's straight down like this. We can go into a triangle where it triangles like this. See it? See it? Doesn't have much of a change. Or we can go into something like, if we go in here, we can get into something that's pulsating. You're not going to hear much right now, so I'm going to take this envelope and set it on here, bring it up a little bit. We're going to bring in some of that chorus. And drop in that delay. So, boom. All right, so we're working with the crunch, delay, and the chorus right here right now, so we haven't changed up much. So when we go, we're going to go into the mixer board, and we can add in this LFO right here on this one. You hear the difference now? Hear it cutting? It's very pulsy and choppy. We can cut that back a little bit. Won't be so choppy. A little less, or we can make it real hard. All right, so we can add in this envelope right here. Take the envelope away. We can also bring it in over here, bring this LFO in right here. Now when we do that, it really changes it. We can fine tune it more with this right here. It's hard to see what it says. What does that say? Okay, so we can bring this envelope in, number one on this envelope, turn it up a little bit too. Now we got some kind of spacey sound. You hear that? And that's just on this particular sample we have right here. And that's a drop of water. That's just a drop of water. And then after we designed this sample, we can take and we can go back and play to the song later, which I'm creating kind of a spacey sci-fi sounding album. And so we're going to jump in on this with that. Okay, so that sounds pretty cool. I can come over here to the gain and turn it up and down, but right now we're going to leave where it's at, and we're going to bring in another sample. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say I want to put in some kind of sample of a synthesizer. Let's go with something more of, let's try one of these ARP 2500, so we can sample out the tones. Kind of is this one, that one right there. I like that one there. Okay, so we got that one there. That sounds a little much for that one there, so we're gonna go in, turn this down a little bit. Let's see. And it's going pretty fast, so right here in this playback, we can go forward, we can go backwards, we can go backwards, forward. We can re-trigger it. We can so I took the loop off. I can change this. Here we're dragging the sample. All right, maybe I want to add in some extra extra sounds on this one. So maybe we'll start with another LFO. We'll come in here and let's put a little reverb on this LFO. So our reverb is 8. So I'm gonna take this reverb and I'm gonna attack this here. Attack this reverb. Boom. We want this reverb to we want a little depth on it. So here we want that rate to be kind of high too. Then we're gonna want to add this reverb over here and hit the sync. Okay, so here we are with this. Maybe we want to put some, because delay kind of goes along with reverb because it kind of makes it more echoey. So we're going to add in some delay and make sure we turn up that reverb. I like to start with turning things up slightly small when I do it. And this seems like it might take a little bit of time, but this is how you're going to like design your effects, your sounds, your stuff. So, and you're really going to take some time to really fine tune your sound. Okay, I can move this also. All right, so I'm gonna take this reverb and we're going to put the reverb on the reverb. Boom, turn up the reverb. All right, in the mixer window, I can come over here and I can turn down this stuff wherever I want. I can bring in this LFO. This is the second LFO. I can bring it right here, bring it in here, put it on here also. Boom. All right, so. So maybe that drop is taking too long to get in. So we're gonna bring this this first one over a little bit. See how I came over here and I moved this. It's going to now attack it faster. And this is just a synthesizer, the ARP 2500 and dripping water. Okay, so now maybe we want to put a little chorus on this, so I can turn this up a little bit, and then add some chorus in over here. Remember, number 4 was chorus. Some chorus in right here. All right, so we'll go into envelope number 2, and we're gonna sustain it a bit, decayed, add some what? Go back to LFO number 1. We're gonna add this decayed, this LFO right here. I mean, this envelope right here. So we're gonna add it right here in the depth. Go back to it, and we're going to add in our reverb on the sustain, and add our reverb on decay, on release, and attack. Bring that envelope right here on here, right here. All right, so maybe I'm not wanting that to be so long on that, so we'll cut this dripping water down a little bit. Okay, so here. Maybe that's a little too much. We'll drag it out some more. All right, so we're just kind of making this an effect to kind of create. We don't have to fill all 4 samples, but we're gonna go through one more for you to kind of give you an idea of what you can do to create sounds. So the ones that actually come inside of here, we're gonna get into some environment stuff or some other stuff. So I'm gonna look for one that had some effects in here that were pretty cool. We got some workshop stuff, and here's a torch. That's pretty cool. It's kind of like a phaser, like a sweep. All right, gas brush. All right, we're gonna go back in here. We can come into this. They got tools. Tools are kind of cool. We got some drills. You can add the drill. We can add some effects with the drill on there. There's a drill press. Electric razor. No, let's add that electric razor in there. So it looks like it's already kind of got something going on right here. What it's added on there. So we're gonna bring. Take the loop off. All right, we'll turn the gain down on that a little bit so it's not so hot. Let's try that. Okay. Give it more. All right, so here, let's try that loop. Okay, so kind of got that idea what that is doing. So now I've got already two of these made with the LFOs and envelopes. I got one with a pulse, and I've got one with a sine wave. And I can move this sine wave to however fit that I want, and I can put number 2 here, kind of envelope 2. I could also get rid of one of these and bring envelope 1 in here and the LFO 1 if I wanted to as well. But we're also clipping. So if you saw that right up there, it was clipping. So we're going to have to turn something down. All right, so I can come in here and I can add in, say, LFO 1 on this. Now, to me, that for a space sound, that kind of sounds like it's like some kind of radio signal kind of thing going down. So I can also bring in LFO2 on here. Boom, turn it up a little bit. Let's bring in envelope. Let's bring in envelope 1. Turn it down a little bit. Back the other direction. No, I didn't like envelope 1 on there. Let's try envelope 2. You know, everything's about. All right, and we can also bring this all the way in so it's thick and hard. All right. All right, so I've got me some kind of space sound here that I'm working on right now, and it's choppy, and that's what I was going for. Now, if I didn't want it to be so choppy, we could take down the delay, and we could take down the chorus, and make it more reverby, and make it strung out chords, maybe take down the depth, all that kind of stuff. But we were working on creating a sound effect that's pretty choppy. I'm kind of showing you how you can kind of get in here and just like move around, all this kind of stuff. So this is Iris 2. Now this effect here, I would use for something that would be more like in little spots. Maybe we can turn some of this down a little bit to kind of more hold the notes down. Turn down maybe some of this. We wanted to ring out these notes. Bring out. Just you can really get in there and fine tune it. You can add some distortion on here. So say we want to put some distortion on this, but maybe even put envelope 1 on distortion on here. A little reverb on this one here. Maybe drop down some of this chorus. Add some more reverb in on this one here. And a lot of times, playing with these things is how you create. So right now we're trying to get it so it's not so choppy. Sometimes starting out with more is better and bringing out less. We'll go back to this LFO, bring down the chorus. And then we brought that chorus down, we attacked it slower and brought it down. Bring it in a little more. Bring it right down. That razor, you listen to that thing. It's got quite the delay on it. We can bring this envelope 1 down on here. All right, we'll drop down some this right on here. And here we are, just messing around with it. And basically, this is how you design your sound effects. Though I don't have this thing 100% mastered. You can also turn in, you can do with your other things right here, like mod wheel, aftertouch. You can add those things in on here. So say I went to envelope 2 and I wanted to add some mod wheel on the attack. You could add some mod wheel here. Envelope 1, throw in some mod wheel if you wanted to. Now it's got the wow wow. And we could bring the mod wheel over here on the reverb a little bit. Maybe we want to add some more chorus in this one. All right, so now something like I wanted to get in on something here. So say we didn't like the sample, we wanted to play with something else. We want to add in something else to kind of give it maybe a longer keynote. So we'll go in here and hit an instrument. Let's bring in a bass. So we'll go with electric bass. Let's add that note in there. It's long. All right, so you can get over here on this tool over here, so I can take the paintbrush, and also I could over here I can click on one of these at a time in this window over here, so I can edit each one of them. That way I can get in a finer tune. So obviously we've got to fix this here. It's starting out kind of late, so we're going to bring it in. maybe we want to bring it over more. So boom. So these bars right here will allow you to add in things like this. You can also delete it with the eraser. Get rid of it if I want. And come inside of here and I can draw out areas I don't want of it to play. I can paint it back in if I want to by using the paintbrush. I can also come in here and select areas like this along here. So by selecting areas like this, I can really change the way this sounds. So at first, let's bring this back on. I can also take this wand and see, like, double click on section right there. See how I highlighted that all the way through? And then move these arrows. This is where it's going to repeat. So if I want to get rid of this section right through here, I could delete it by just easily coming in here and doing this. Make this bigger too, by the way. Just boom. Delete it all if I wanted to. And just start fresh. Take this wand and double click on sections like this. Come in here and I can erase things to be the way I want. I can draw in little waves like this if I wanted to. We want to bring in lines right here like that. Maybe I want to bring this here. Let me play that section through there. I can come up here and I can change this to go forward and backward, from forward to backwards, or backwards to forward. So here's backwards. And all right, so over here I can fill it back in, and it will, or we can like invert it. Like this one here. This will just continuously play it. And exit out by doing that. come in here, click on with my wand, the ones I want, and the computer likes to think. There it is. I kind of like that how we went like this with this wave. Let's bring that wave in there. And then that kind of had that little face sound when I drew these in there like that. Now, you can add in some crossfades too. Down here, start, you can start it, start the loop earlier, later, add in your crossfades. Grabbing like this. Wherever you want it to start, here. Let's say we want to go forward now. Let's go forward. All right, so we're gonna go back in. Let's go into our drip of water. And we're gonna add, I'm gonna drip of water and add in the sounds. Okay, we're back in our drip of water. Go to number 1, drip of water. So you can kind of see where this is going. Hey, we could be here all day, and that's what's going to happen because I'm showing you how to really get into this and develop it. So we're going to put in our crossfades again. And I think we had somewhat of a back to number 1 in our loop. It's going to start here. This needs to come in here. Boom. There we go. Maybe the crossfade needs to go a little less. Start a little. All right, now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to highlight Oh, darn it. All right, so we're gonna go in here and draw in sections like this on this one. Move this just so you can see. In some patches. Just kind of see how this kind of sounds. Square. All right, so we're going to come in here, we're going to take this eraser, and we're going to make it really small as we can. We're going to draw in on these little waves. Draw little waves, lines in there to kind of give it that little phase sound. It's interesting how it turns out. And then we're going to take same thing down here, make it bigger waves. Right. It's interesting how it turns out when you go through this and play around. It's all right, so this one here, I want to make it bigger because it didn't sound like it was, I hit the undo button right here, by the way. Right where that's doing that, we're gonna use this eraser again. Right here. Now we're gonna move on to this one here. All right, so it's already kind of got a sine wave kind of thing. So we're going to go through here and we're going to make this eraser bigger. Not that big. And erase. Okay. save that. No, we'll double click with this thing here. I'm gonna delete this. Right. All right, so on this one here, you can see how it has these little lines going up like this. I'm going to take the paintbrush and kind of make it small and draw down those lines. And then also on here, I'm going to add in some reverb. So it was number 4. And these a little bit. Right, and then I believe we had macro number 7. No, 4 was reverb, chorus. 7's delay. 8. 8. So we'll add 8 on there. We'll leave that chorus on there. 8. Okay. I want this kind of really echoey. Sample. We can change the key right here. So we'll bring this like the C2. Make sure we can just click in and type it in right there like that. It's pretty simple and fast. And I'm not really digging those mod wheels, so we're going to get rid of them. What else? We have a mod wheel on. Somewhere. Where's that other mod wheel right there? Pairing mod wheels. Let's put this one in a little higher note, so we'll make it C5. And even higher, so that way it's lower. You want a lower pitch. 7. All right, we need some delay on this. This would sound pretty cool with some delay. That was 7. And we can actually make this still different. This delay, we can go in here and we can make it more feedback. More time. Some distortion. Distort that. We're going to add in some straight out chorus on it. Chorus really All right, so we're going to add in an envelope 1. Let's see what this sounds like. So after we've kind of went through and kind of changed the structure of the wave, if you saw what I did, that's kind of sounded pretty cool. Let's see what LFO 1 sounds like. You know what it reminds me of? Sounds like a car driving. Let's try LFO 2 on there. So So we need more delay on this one here. More reverb. Maybe that was a little much. Down. All right. Input envelope, we put envelope 1, we'll put a delay on envelope 1. Put a lot of delay on it. See if we can get this to be a longer delay. I'm going to this reverb and density, bit, size of the room. All right. It sounds like in the lower it gets, the crazier it sounds. So that's kind of like that effect right there is going to be like one of those back behind sounds that I'm going to have in the background on this song. And then when I get into playing more with it, I'm going to send it through the reverb inside of the mix in here that I have in this mixer window, which is not set up yet in this one. I didn't do I didn't start this session with basically a preset, but that is Iris too. And I hope that you kind of got an idea of how, if you'll open, how it works with me just showing you and playing around with it. It 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 sure took quite a long time to kind of get the sound that I wanted. When I add that into this song here, it's going to make the intro come alive. So when I bring it in here, let's say open up this window, go to the synthesizer, and I'm going to make this smaller so we can see where we're at. There we go. Boom. Pencil tool. So I'm going to draw in on this one. I'm going to draw in. Note out. And before it comes into that, maybe I'll drag the song to let it in a little longer. But in so this song's in B, so we're gonna drown out some of these. Sometimes it's cool to put me in something like this, where it kind of and then we'll bring it in back in. We'll turn this synthesizer down so it's and one thing I think we need to do with that synthesizer though is the dripping water. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. I think it's just a little hot. We're going to come in there and turn it down. And so we kind of played around with this, got us a sample that we like, and we can save that sample by hitting this and call it like space water drip, whatever you want to. I got some cool ones here. I want to show you this one I call terminal velocity. Warp speed. And I got dark. This I call this one dark side of the moon. So you can add something like that and go back to our dripping water, because that's the one we're going to use for this song. All right, well, hey, thanks for tuning in today. This is a little long, but hey, you have a good day, and I'm glad I could share you with Iris too.